Hello folks, if we'd like to go back in time we could talk about hatchets. Kind of a primitive tool, but a tool that's still good to know how to use. So I'd like my daughters to learn that along with my sons as they grow up. So I'm making an axe throwing board and I'm making it a little differently. I'm actually going to make it an upright. I'm going to put it in the ground with posts. I'm going to put a green treated back wall to it, which I plan on throwing on a little bit just to see how well axes stick in green treat because it intrigues me and nobody does it. And it's typically a wet, kind of soft wood for most situations. And then I'm going to put a face over the top of it that's going to be removable, that is going to be in a really soft wood like a poplar. So I'm laying things out here with my son. We're trying to make the dimension that we can to get our bullseye correct. And once we get that done, we're going to kind of get some things ready and screw it together. And then I'll probably have my daughter paint the bullseyes on it because she's much better at it than I am. And then I'll make a face covering for this that'll make it even stronger. In the meantime, I'll dig in a couple 6x6 posts in the yard and get those buried in about 4 feet. And get them set, and we'll be able to hang this on that, which will be absolutely great. I wanted to be wide enough to cover beyond the bullseye. I wanted to make sure I could do a second coating over the top of like a softwood to get it to stick in. And I had my daughter kind of help me put this all up, which is what Anna's doing here. We're getting the screws in. This first board is quite thin. It's just a holding board. It's just a green treated piece of siding, if you want to think about it. And that just gives me the horizontal board that I can put the 2x4s that are green treated on. And then that'll be the first layer that I throw against, just to kind of teach them and let them beat it up. And then I plan on not taking that off. I plan on coming over the top with a soft wood, like I said, like a poplar, that could go right over the top of that and make it work. Getting it level, getting it all up, not the hardest thing to do. I cut it up in about maybe 30 minutes total, time I got out of the truck and everything, and got the 2 posts in a couple hours before, and then hanging it took maybe about 15-20 minutes total. Anna was able to do a lot of it herself as far as getting things up. I just kind of had to hold them in place. I like the idea of doing a thicker back wall. That way, if the axes start breaking a board, I can just change the top piece. I've seen these quite a few times in carnies or carnivals, and inside of trailers and inside of certain wagons. I really wanted my girls to learn this skill. I first learned the skill in shooting sports, which is a 4-H program. I got to throw a few hatchets with that, and I wasn't too bad, to be honest. But again, it's just a nice skill to be able to have it. And then this board could even be used for learning how to throw knives down the road. Simple technique that sometimes can help you. I taught my daughter how to pin it down and make her circles, and then she can go to painting. The dimensions of the circles are the target federation's design and distance, so that's how I did it. I decided not to do the optional little dots up in the top corners and stuff. That the kids just don't need to get into that right now. I'm teaching fundamentals and skills here. And as far as the hatchets go, I bought the Wick brand because they work really well in 4-H and meet their standards. And 2, they're fairly inexpensive on Amazon, and you know darn well that there's going to be some blades that get hit and handles that get hit. Now, to prevent some of that, I'm going to try to have them throw just one hatchet at a time, and that'll make it better. And I figure if they get their skills up good enough, we maybe even let them throw a big axe or 2 if they want down the road. As far as technique goes, that's in the eye of the beholder, but I'm going to start the girls off with walking 5 paces out from the target and throwing. I've already told them they need to wear safety goggles and appropriate shoe wear, but farm kids are what farm kids are. So we'll see how they do. And I realize that we'll end up repainting bullseyes down the road. But my daughters with her sisters here did a really nice job of painting it up and making it look really, really nice, which is appreciative. They take some pride in what Dad is getting them, if you know what I mean. So with the painting almost done, we went black, red, and blue. It's time to put this up. We just let it dry. for a day, and then the next day it went up. And again, this is actually the base layer, but we're going to throw into it a little bit just so they can get the feel of it. My son here, Grant, he put these up for the most part, and it went really smooth. It was kind of fun to put it together, if you know what I mean. So shove it all in and get it all screwed together. So everybody in the family has been part of this, and I think what makes that special is just that. Now, my bride knows how to throw, and that's a wonderful skill. She can punch a rifle and shoot a pistol, and she knows how to throw a hatchet. So kind of first ones up on the board were her. She kind of had to show the kids a little bit, but she wings them right in there. And then while they're beating it up and learning how to do it, some of the other girls of mine are back in the drawing board, putting the circles on the poplar face that I'm going to use. And I was going to buy like a true cottonwood poplar type wood, and I was going to buy it in you know, like a 2x8 or 2x10 kind of deal, but it was awful expensive, so I had to go down to the 2x6 again and do it that way. It's amazing what, you know, the poplar type or softer type trees like cottonwood and stuff cost in wood. I've always thought them to be junk trees, but that's just not the case. So as you can see here, Julia's got it down. She's now been throwing for a few days, and she's throwing on the new cottonwood board. I decided to do a slow-mo just to show one of her better shots, and she really did put this one right in there. I'm proud of my girls as they learn how to do this. Look at that shot. Bullseye. That's the way you want it, folks. You want to teach your kids a good old school skill on the farm, teach them how to throw a hatchet, folks. Take care.